10's Late News with Tracey Spicer.
Heading the late news, claims of a constitutional showdown after the latest developments over Senator Mal Colston's alleged travel rorts. Tornadoes carve a deadly trail across 5 American states, leaving at least 26 dead. And hundreds of thousands of people turn out to clean up Australia. Good evening. First tonight, the row over Senator Mal Colston's travel expenses deepens. Official inquiries have uncovered more discrepancies in his travel claims, and there's also the prospect of a constitutional showdown if the senator is forced to quit Parliament.
Senator Colston faces new evidence of dubious travel claims.
It would appear from the airline schedules that Senator Colston was in one place when his travel allowance claims suggested he was in another.
Robert Allison, the usher of the Black Rod, is in charge of Senate security and travel.
At this stage, it appears that the allegations can be proven on the documentation.
There are 8 suspicious dates where $140 a night travel allowance was claimed.
Well, I would imagine that Senator Colston has a case to answer.
The Prime Minister says that while the government needs Senator Colston to pass its legislation, the law will be allowed to run its course.
I mean, let's not be, sort of mince words about that. Of course we are grateful.
Do you owe him in a big way?
Well, not owe in the sense that the law is going to be bent.
If Deputy President Colston is removed from the Senate, there could be a major constitutional upheaval because the Queensland government claims it will not replace him with a member of the Labor Party.
In my view, there should be an independent senator to replace him.
However, the Constitution clearly states that in a vacancy, a person chosen shall be a member of that party. Because Senator Colston was Labor at the last election, his replacement must also be Labor because of a rare constitutional amendment passed by referendum in 1977 after Sir Joe Bjelke-Petersen created a crisis when he sent an independent to Canberra.
This is Joe Bjelke-Petersen in the saddle, riding again.
A non-Labor appointment would be challenged in the High Court, provoking a constitutional showdown. Paul Smith, 10 News.
Exactly 1 year ago, Pauline Hanson was elected as the independent member for Ipswich in Queensland. But her hometown is still divided, today holding 2 very different functions to mark her rise to prominence.
12 months after her landslide win in the former Labor seat of Oxley, Pauline Hanson is proud of her role in the race debate.
No, I'm quite pleased with what I've done.
The outspoken federal MP still rejects perceptions of her as a racist.
That's not what I'm standing for. I'm trying to make us all united and strong as one. One people, one nation, one flag.
Today she sang the national anthem at a pro-Hanson rally in her hometown. She would neither confirm nor deny reports that she's about to launch her own political party. At the Ipswich Workers' Club, a couple of kilometres away from the Hanson Support Movement rally, an anti-racism forum was being held. The guest speaker was Catholic Archbishop Wilfred Napier from the South African Truth and Reconciliation Commission.
I think society has a responsibility to determine where the line is to be drawn and where freedom of speech actually becomes an infringement of another person's rights.
Other speakers condemned the Howard government for allegedly gaining political mileage from Pauline Hanson.
They've deliberately capitalised on that ignorance in the community, on those misconceptions.
Pauline Hanson says one of her main goals for the next 12 months is to combat what she calls reverse racism. John Ross, 10 News.
Flooding in northwestern Queensland has claimed its first victim. A man drowned when the 4-wheel drive he was travelling in was washed off a causeway south of Mount Isa. Heavy rains caused the Leichhardt River to peak early today, but it rapidly subsided. However, another peak is expected late tonight as the rain continues. Locals say it's the heaviest they've seen for years.
4 or 5 years of very poor seasons and drought conditions, and all of a sudden we get more water than we've had in the last 4 or 5 years in virtually in a couple of days.
There are thousands of aching backs and arms across the nation tonight following another successful Clean Up Australia campaign.
It's the one day of the year we can display our polluting ways and feel good about it. Today, thousands of volunteers across Australia donned the rubber gloves, rolled up the sleeves and got stuck in to give their country a good buff and polish. Thousands of clean-up sites were blitzed on land and sea. The results were the same, though. Rubbish and lots of it.
Strings, fishing rods, lures, that kind of stuff.
Mainly cans and bottles, plastic bags mainly.
It's in our power to reduce our consumption of plastic, to say no to the supermarket bag. Sorry, I don't want 10 of them. Can I get away with 3?
The T-shirt says it all here, with the likely culprits not far away.
Apart from doing a great job on the pollution we can see, clean-up organisers this year want special attention given to that often invisible pollution coming out of our stormwater drains and sewers.
We've been saying it to a procession of governments and authorities, fix the problem. We've been saying it for 9 years, it still hasn't happened.
This year, more than 500,000 people got down and dirty for their country, the amount of rubbish collected to exceed last year's record, 10,000 tonnes. Tim Collins, 10 News.
When the late news continues, at least 26 dead as tornadoes sweep through American states. And a new insight into the Big Bang that started the universe. In the United States, at least 26 people died when tornadoes and thunderstorms swept across 5 states. Many more are missing as emergency crews battled through the destruction of flattened buildings, flooded towns, and in one area, a complete shopping centre demolished.
Arkansas got the worst of the punishing weather. Fierce tornadoes flattened parts of downtown Arkadelphia and reduced many neighborhoods and businesses to rubble. 3 counties have been declared disaster areas, and the National Guard has been called out. The devastation from the storm left residents in shock. A tornado also ripped the roof off of a nursing home, prompting a quick evacuation. And in northeast Mississippi, twisters ripped through a rural area. At least 1 man was killed when a tornado shattered his mobile home. Quickly rising floodwaters in Louisville, Kentucky prompted this dramatic rescue. This man was nearly swept away several times before crews were able to bring him to safety.
All right.
Some neighborhoods are under 6 feet of water after more than 8 inches of rain fell in 24 hours. And in parts of Ohio, the rising water toppled cars and left motorists scrambling for drier ground.
There was just nothing you do, no place to go.
I knew where my car floated, I don't know how much a Camaro weighs, but it's pretty heavy. I said, if it's going to carry it away, it'll carry me away, too.
While neighborhoods try to dry out, authorities are searching for several people missing after Ohio's Great Brush Creek overran its banks. In Tennessee...